5 साल के बच्चे को चश्मा लग रहा है विथ हाई पावर, नॉट इवन लाइक लेस पावर, तो पेरेंट्स बहुत कंसर्न हो जाते हैं कि ओ ऐसा क्या हो गया कि हम लोगों ने कुछ गड़बड़ की है.
Screen time is a bait. Child is troubling, give him your phone. Then he'll keep fiddling with it.
But does that cause problem in having a number, or it's
No, it
as
causes
it is?
mental problems.
Okay.
Leave alone eye problems. That is not even what my concern of address is out here. I want to address the point that these children are being given off these screens every time they cry while they're eating. Can you imagine? There are some kids who will not eat.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's because these mothers are force feeding their kids. The kids, see, the thing is that now you'll see a lot of people, they're getting diagnosed with ADHD. And then, they put on medicines and they. But what do you do with a 6-year-old child who's just hyperactive? He needs to drain his energy somewhere. He's not going swimming, he's not running, he's not doing anything. He's just on the phone. What is he going to do up with all of that pent up energy? Is he going to eat? No, you're not tiring him out enough.
True.
You're basically he's just going to school, coming, going to classes, coming, being on the phone. That's about it. That's his life.
True.
What do you expect him to do? And ADHD in today's time is even harbored by the fact that reels have created ADHD amongst people, that their brain wants something new. They want to feel, they want to know everything, they want to see what are the latest trends. And there's absolutely senseless because it makes no money for them. It takes them nowhere. Just watching reel after reel, reel after reel, trend after trend, some person dancing, some person doing something, some video, some ASMR. Like, what is it doing for you?
And I think that anxiety also increases because so पहले जब reels and technology नहीं था, the comparison used to happen only within your family or within your cousins, anything. Friends पकड़ लो, वहाँ तक ही comparisons होते थे. But अब when everything is online, the whole world, you can see the whole world, तो तुम्हारा competition and तुम्हारा I mean, I don't understand the competition part, but yeah, people are getting hyperactive or anxiety hit हो रही है लोगों को because they want to compare with the whole world, or else वो पूरा whole world आने के वजह से they feel कि हम क्या ही कर रहे हैं, because बहुत सारे लोग बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं वर्ल्ड में. And is that also a factor because of hyper anxiety which people feel, and many छोटा छोटा बच्चास are feeling it early on, because I don't think so पहले लोगों को anxiety का शब्द भी पता था.
No, they're only anxious. Anxiety is because they think that if they get money or they get fame, most of their problems will go away. That's what the idea in a person's mind is that, once I get a lot of money or I complete this goal, my problems will be solved. But that's not true at all. So they're spending money that they don't have to buy things that they don't need to impress people they don't like.
Okay.
That's exactly, and getting things on EMI has made it easier. So somebody's earning 80,000 rupees, is spending 40,000 rupees in just EMIs of things that he absolutely has no need of.
True.
Like if you had a lot of money, you wouldn't need to show a lot of money. Like if you would have a lot of money, and if you knew you had a lot of money, you don't have any need to show.
True.
Like exactly, look at the wisest guy. He's always the most quietest.
True.
Because he doesn't need to show his wisdom. He knows he's wise. So the rich people know that they're rich. They don't need to wear an LV or a Ferragamo to show that they're rich. And yeah, and basic economics say that at the end, what is going to make you happy? If not for your purpose, if, like, for example, my purpose is to take care of preventable blindness, and till the time I'm making progress in that front, I would be satisfied and I'd sleep well. But if I was purposeless, then I would try to derive the momentary happiness of the materialistic gains. Like you bought a new bag, or you ate at a new place, or something that is going to get you some dopamine. And if it is not purpose driven, it's very short lived.
And I think also here, when you are not purposeful or you are not satisfied with your work, then the depression also comes in.
Yeah,
Then
like
there are
nothing makes
substance
you
abuse.
happy. There's substance abuse. There's like um it just weighs you down as a person because you're just not happy. Nothing makes you happy.
True.
If there is no purpose, nothing can make you happy. Then you'll start finding happiness in other people, like your friend. And then
Yeah.
when you find that they can't make you happy, then you're unhappy with them, just like you are with yourself. So I always tell people that if you want to have very good interpersonal relationships with people, find somebody who's happy as a person. Because,
Yeah.
you
Keeping
know,
your
yeah, because,
surroundings.
yeah, happiness, if shared, increases, sorrow, if shared, decreases. You know, I share my sorrow with you, my sorrow becomes easier to deal with, if
So
not
many
judged,
people are not very comfortable sharing their.
because of poor past experiences.
Hmm.
Maybe they confided in somebody who backstabbed them,
Hmm.
or they faced mockery, or somebody just laughed at their problems,
Yeah.
and this dissuades them from confiding in somebody, anybody, even if they're having very good. But even if you don't confide, even if you write down your problems,
Hmm.
a confession could be oral to a person or could be
Hmm.
written. So if you could just write down all your problems and try to figure out a way when it
Yeah.
is written, because in your head is just a thought, on paper
True.
it becomes an idea or a puzzle, and then you go systematic. You take up a protocol of approach towards it which works for you, for the kind of person you are, and then you can absolutely solve most problems by just communication and just a little bit of planning.
Absolutely. So, apart from having issues about mental health and everything, what do you feel people should do for their daily eye care routine or hygiene? So I have seen. So for the worst part, I have seen many people when they go through bikes or they are traveling through rickshaws or anywhere where dirt just flies in your eye and they are just getting their fingers around the eyes, how unhygienic it is and what all things can happen
Oh, it's
if it's
horrible.
not
If your fingers are dirty, you get a bacterial infection that can
first.
involve the conjunctiva or the cornea, depending on the severity of the organism.
Hmm.
Secondly, people don't wear masks when they're riding a bike because it's really hot and humid out here. I can
Hmm.
completely understand why they don't wear it.
Hmm.
But even people who are walking on the streets, in case of a poor AQI day, you
Hmm.
can absolutely wear a mask and wear
Hmm.
some eyewear. And that's just the basic, that you can do. Just get regular checkups done. Like with your dental checkup, you can visit an eye surgeon or an ophthalmologist maybe once a year at least. If not more, once a year should be
Yeah.
good because it will take care. It's not only vision that we check. We even check the retina for diabetes and for other systemic manifestations
Hmm.
that show on the retina. Second thing is that we check for your field of vision, the pressure of your eye, glaucoma,
Hmm.
these conditions where there is vitamin A deficiency. There's the night
Hmm.
blindness. So the eye, it's all about the eyes. That's a
Hmm.
very famous line from one of, I think.
And how often should a diabetic person visit ophthalmologist?
Oh, it's every 6 months to a year. If he's having no
Okay.
diabetic retinopathy, maybe every 1 year. And if he's having diabetic retinopathy, he needs to visit his diabetologist and his ophthalmologist once in 6 months at least.
Okay.
And if he's having poor sugar levels, then
Hmm.
he'll have to visit them even more frequently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. People actually try to avoid क्यों जाना है और laziness करते हैं but
Yeah, that's why so the problem is that that's a very, very good point that you got out. So people just generally look the other way. Even if their vision drops a little, they just think that अरे कल ठीक हो जाएगा, अरे अगले हफ्ते ठीक हो जाएगा, कुछ नहीं है, मैं ठीक हूँ. And when they come to us, they come in the last phases of their diseases. People have lost their entire vision, entire field of vision is
oh my
gone,
god.
and they're full blown glaucoma patients, and they're still driving Nobody's even educated them that, you know, you can't drive anymore because you're
Oh my
just,
God.
yeah, that's a very big problem. So I personally wish to address this, that everybody who gets a driver's license, he needs to undergo a field test and a vision test. And if he's having glasses, thicker glasses, then you need to see that you're wearing the glasses, otherwise you're at a civic risk. You know, there are other people who can see very well, you can't see very well, and you're driving amongst well-seeing people. So you put them at risk.
You're putting yourself at risk,
You're putting everything at risk.
everyone
Yeah.
at risk. And many people also actually, this is a very funny question. Uh, as we are doctors, we know that there is no cure to the eyesight other than any surgical approach. But do you get a lot of question about कि डॉक्टर साहब हम कैसे चश्मा हटा सकते हैं? What would you tell to everyone who has
Oh, if you're
number?
18 and above, you have a number that ranges between anywhere from 1 to 7. You can just get a LASIK done or a smile procedure done, and you will get rid of your numbers. But these are not this is not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about preventable blindness, you know, and non-preventable blindness. Most people who visit me are patients who have preventable blindness, but they're not aware about it. So they have lost a quality of their life.
Can you elaborate what is preventable and what are non-preventable eye blindness?
Preventable blindness is anything like spectacles, people having a large number. They're visually compromised, but with glasses they can see well. With a surgery, like a LASIK or an IPCL, ICL, they can do much better, you know. And non-preventable blindnesses are like optic nerve diseases, you know, glaucoma, non-preventable blindness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
what can be done? So again, that is the thing. People need to go to ophthalmologists to come to
at
know
least
whether
once
it
a
is.
year.
Yes. Okay. That's very important, people. So, let's talk about your lifestyle now as a doctor. What all took you to understand? I mean, were you this fit from the start, or when you started working in this field, you understood certain criteria? Okay, I have to be this way so that I can continue for long hours. What was your
No, I
ideal?
started working out when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
So I just gotten into med school. The first year was over, and from second year I joined. And since that day, I never looked back.
Okay.
So I would not miss gym because that was only the source of happiness. And that was the best dopamine that I could get.
Right.
Lifting heavy weights, or like just lifting weights, doing some form of activity. But doctors per se, they're not consistent with their fitness. They'll work out for a week, 2 weeks, then they'll get busy, then they won't work out. Then so they don't have a routine going on. Most of the medical students, they don't have a routine because they're not disciplined. They cannot be disciplined because work is not disciplined. They can be working long hours, long nights, but irrespective of everything, you know, I would still go work out. You know, even if I had as less as 20 minutes, I would still go do something.
Basically,
And
just showing up.
yeah, I
Starting
would,
में.
yeah, showing up is 90% of success. And I would not eat anything that's bad, like fried food. I would just eat simple food. Even if it was dal chawal, I would eat dal chawal. But I wouldn't eat the vada pav. I would not eat, you know, I would just try
While
like,
working, you're saying.
yeah, while working, because you would not get. And then later on, I stopped eating at all. I just moved to eating once a day. And I put in 2,500 calories in just one meal, with lesser of starches and more of vegetables and meat, you know, all forms of meat and eggs. And I would just see that my food is not made in seed oil. You know, either it's butter, ghee, or animal fat. And yeah, so now I eat only once a day. I work out for 45 minutes every day in between hospital, in between patients, whenever I can. And I sleep well. And that's about it.
Before people flip out about this fact that someone is eating one time a day, let us tell you that everyone has their own perspective and they have figured out life for themselves. So it's not necessary that he is having one meal that everyone can have, but it works for him and he has seen result in his life, right? And it has served you in a way where you feel enough for it. You don't have to indulge in 3 meals or 4 meals, as many people are recommended that have 3 meals a day or 4 meals a day. But you have figured out for yourself ki, okay, what works for you and what not. So I think people should see it in this way ki, figure out for yourself what works for you and then go on the diet or on clean eating,
I
right?
would just say take professional help.
Yeah, that is best.
Take
Take a
professional.
professional help.
Yes.
That
Always take a
best.
professional help,
Yes.
or else go see what you eat, weigh it out,
Hmm.
see how many calories you eat throughout the day, see
Hmm.
what kind of. So I don't eat 3 meals a day because I'm not a manual laborer. If I was a manual laborer, I would eat 3 to 4 meals a day because that
Hmm.
is the requirement for my work. If I'm
True.
just operating, I'm just sitting in a room, I'm talking, what do I need to be fed for?
Hmm.
What is food going to do for me if not make me sleepy? I'll become sluggish if I eat.
So you
And
you always had a 1 meal plan in
yeah,
your.
so first I would never eat breakfast
Okay.
because there was no time to eat breakfast. So I would eat my first meal at around 2 o'clock
Hmm. Hmm.
after the lectures
Hmm.
and the postings, and then I would eat the rest of the day.
There are many cosmetological procedures happening and very trendy. जैसे आई लैमिनेशन हो गया, आई लैमिनेशन. सो पहले आप थोड़ा आई लैमिनेशन क्या होता है वो बता दो. एंड देन देर आर फेक आई लैशेस. तो हाउ हाइजीनिक, छोड़ो हाइजीनिक भी छोड़ दो, विल यू रेकमेंड इट?
No,
दैट वाज अ वेरी डायरेक्ट आंसर.
yeah.
सो थोड़ा आप बता दो लैमिनेशन क्या है एंड.
So the thing is that the most common cosmetic procedure that gives you a problem is these glued up eyelashes. Now whether they're permanent or they're temporary.
ओके.
And what happens in them is that they use a certain form of an adhesive glue,
Hmm.
and that adhesive glue goes and clogs up all of your meibomian glands.
This is for fake eyelash.
Yes.
Okay.
And though it is above your eye line, the lash line, it goes and sits over there, but it's like horrible. It weighs down your lids because
Oh
there's some
my
weight to
God.
it. And on top of that, it is one of the leading causes of poor tear film layer. Your tear film layer falls because the oily layer of the tear film that is secreted by the meibomian glands is not there. So you start suffering from evaporative dryness.
Basically, you can go through a lot of dry eyes.
Yes, definitely.
My God.
Yeah, how
And
much ever you say that no, it's okay, this and that. Yeah, I wouldn't agree to it.
and people like who are influencers and they have to do it, then what can they do to minimize the effect?
If somebody takes care of their health and their fitness level as much as they take care of curling their lashes, they'd be in a much better position mentally and physically, and psychologically they'd be on a very uptrend, rather than changing things that are very, very cosmetically um, you know sought after from a vanity point of view. It's just pure vanity that, like, you want to look like everybody else. You're just blending in. It's just a blend in my opinion. Where these
Hmm.
trends, people just blend in. They find a purpose of connectivity with somebody else who does.
Hmm.
They're very vain about it. So you go to Bastion on a crowded evening, and you see most of the women just look similar.
Oh.
Yeah, they just look. Even the guys look just so similar. They wear the same kind of clothes. They don't want to stand out, and the ones who are standing out is only with vanity called brands. So it's just the same thing that drives them to get these cosmetic procedures done. you know and yeah, so it's overall not needed. And I would say that you tamper with anything but in and around your eyes. Some people want to get their eye colors changed. Some people tattoo their eyes. Yeah, somebody lost their eyes very recently in an eye tattoo, which led to a uveitis. She's left with permanent blindness in one eye, and the second eye is also quite distorted.
My God.
Yeah. So,
That's the thing about getting external procedures done to your natural eyes and disturbing the balances and oils of everything.
yeah, like,
True. What made you feel or choose medicine, and how was your journey?
Oh,
Was it
so
easy?
I'm a second gen.
Obviously, I don't think so. It's been easy for anyone, but
No,
how was it?
I think that I was blessed with having the best of the teachers. I did not face, like work stress was very manageable.
Okay.
I never came across.
You're a second generation.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
second generation. So
And Papa,
my dad's an internist.
okay.
Yeah,
वो
and
थोड़ा समझा दीजिए what is.
he specialized in internal medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, so my dad was quite an inspiration, with the impact that he has on the lives of people, and the kind of respect, that you get as a surgeon or as a doctor, and how grounded you are, determines your success as a
True.
doctor,
True.
because it's the everyday man who knows you and will come to you, and
True.
most people are neglecting that, in their busy lives. That it's the everyday man that determines your success. It's your overall attitude. You can't just say that, oh, I have a great patient doctor relationship, but overall, you're a pretty cold person. You need to be social.
True.
That then only you can spread your word, your ideology, because you're the ambassador of your own ideology. There's nobody who's going to come do that job for you. How many ever people, PROs you keep, or you do any amount of marketing, what you can do for your brand and for your work, no one can, because no one understands it the way you do it. They can appreciate it, they can acknowledge it, they can recognize it, but they can't be that ambassador. So you have to work in all fronts to be the ambassador of your ideology.
And I think as it has helped you uh, see what has happened in your family, and that has boosted you more to get into, I think, many people figure out down the line when they are in the field. But as आपको थोड़ा रहा है background, it has helped you, right? In a
Yes, so
way
see,
to.
there are two types of doctor families, So there are two types of doctors basically. There are businessmen who are professionally doctors, and there are doctors who then try to become businessmen. So if you're a businessman whose profession is a doctor, that means you're well aware about what all possibilities of investment opportunity any place has.
True.
You understand trends, economic values, and as a profession, you practice medicine,
Yeah.
right? But the other way around is when you're not very well equipped, then your profession becomes your business. You always want to be a businessman who's having a profession rather than a professional who's making his profession his business. Because, see, whatever said and done, in the most humblest ways, you can only make an impact if you're wealthy in today's times. You can do all forms of marketing, but if you actually want to have impact, you need to have wealth to invest in the infrastructure where you're very independent and you make the decision. And how is that possible? That's only possible that if you start accumulating wealth early on in your career. Instead of buying an iPhone worth ₹1 lakh, you invest the same money in an index stock and you wait it for 10 years and you see the amount of money that you get in return.
Yeah.
It's much more gratifying than owning an iPhone.
Yeah.
You see?
Absolutely.
It's just a depreciating asset. But I'm not even saying, I'm not even talking about that. See, if you see those people who did not come from wealth, that's like if you take a statistics of American millionaires, around 70 to 80% of them are self-made millionaires.
Yeah.
And if you see the path that they chose for themselves is that they stayed way under their requirements. In today's world of consumerism, how many people are ready and okay with living under means? So then only you'll be able to accumulate wealth. Initially, like imagine you are having a stipend of 50,000 rupees and you have a room and you have mess food, but you still want to eat outside. If you're able to, curb that, eat healthy and invest the rest of your money, in 5 years of that stipend, you would eventually land up with a lot of cash, as investments.
These
Whether
are
you,
small things, but they have so
oh, they're
big
very
impact.
impactful. I only got I see that most of the people, their investments, they think their house is an investment. Most people think that their house is an investment. It's a myth. You know, house pays a rent of not even 1% in today's time. Most Mumbai pays a rent of 1% maybe, and you are considering it to be your house, and it doesn't bring in any money. Asset is anything that you invest in that makes you money or grows more in value. The house grows more in value, but you stay in the house. You're not renting it. If you're renting it, it's an asset. If you're staying in it, it's not an asset. Yeah, you have a house, but when are you ever going to see these funds? Or if you mortgage it, which most people don't.
Yeah.
You know, few people do. So, and even if you mortgage it as a doctor and you don't know the understandings of business and how money works, you're gonna blow off this money in no time.
Absolutely.
Over equipment, over rents, over payments, and then again you're gonna be in debt. So you need to be smart. You need to start
Be very
Yeah,
mindful of your choices.
yeah. So you need to start making money first, and then make investments into, a clinic, better equipments. You can start off with the basics. I always,
Basics
yeah, like you don't need to have the fanciest of the OTs to begin with. Like I started the first microscope I bought was a Zeiss microscope, and I got it at a very good rate because one of my friends was willing to sell it, who was leaving the country. So I could get hands on something worth 30 lakh rupees for 10 lakh rupees. But most people would buy it for 30 lakh rupees. You see? And if you buy it for 30 lakh rupees, then you are in the negative of 30 lakh rupees on equipment. And now this is a surmounting, so your EMIs are bigger. A 30 lakh car EMI would be much higher than a 10 lakh rupee car EMI. Same goes with equipments. And not every equipment will earn you that kind of money. So you need to be mindful about the equipments you invest in. Only the ones that help you in diagnostic or prognostic procedures are the ones you invest in. Otherwise, there could be so many things you could invest in which have absolutely no purpose in making money.
True, true.
So
Just don't. I think not just going by the words of people ki even if they are your seniors or even if and someone is your coach, like if someone wants to set up, if someone wants to come up with something, do your own research, what I feel.
no, okay, you
And
can do as much of research as you want, but most people will just be researching rather than executing. Leave that. I would always say that go work with a guy who makes as much money as you want to make, and take his opinion as to what did he do. And most people who are making good money are always very kind in sharing knowledge. They will not cross cut you because they're way above. They can only uplift you. They'll never pull you down. Yeah, so don't take advice from people who are not having the same goals as you, have not achieved goals that you are envisioned. I was like, if I had to take an opinion in my council, I would take up very established ophthalmologists and I'll put this question across to them and we'll discuss it out.
true.
I will take a very specialist approach. I will involve a financer, I'll involve a lawyer, I'll involve a CA, an accountant, somebody who can do the fundamentals for me. You know, if I can't do it, if it's really, it requires a lot of different algorithms, which I'm not very aware of, then I will put somebody to the task so that I come up with a value of a statistical quotient which can prove whether this could be successful or it would be bleak. You know, you need to know that.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you're selling winter clothes in a desert, you're not going to sell too much. You see? So you need to see your ambience, you need to see the need of the society, and you need to see at what point, at what value can you walk in and provide a service which is lacking in the society so you have more subscribers for it. Absolutely. That's the only way you can go about in 2023. You need to know your market. How will you know your market? How will you know at the grassroots level what's happening? You need to speak to people around you. You need to see what's
Trending.
troubling them. What's troubling them from health point of view. You know, what are their common problems, and always make a network of people who are similar minded and who are morally right and who wouldn't take your patient as by exploiting him, who would give him a very straightforward, who wouldn't spin him around. Find people who can come to the direct conclusion, then send him to places where he might be abused financially or mentally by their opinions, etc. So get the best opinion for your patient and have a network with doctors who are able in doing that. They don't necessarily need to be really famous doctors or really big names. They just need to be good moral doctors. And if you have a network of good moral doctors and they practice with you and you practice with them, oh, there are too many people in the city who are falling ill. You'll definitely get a lot of work and good moral work,
True.
which will give you good sleep.
That is very important.
Yeah.
And what is your general idea behind? Okay, so this is like a very controversial, but I think I wanted to address it. All the doctors fraternity have this tendency of getting sometimes overboard with their students, or with coming like whoever are the seniors and juniors. So there is a very disbalance between them sometimes. Like when the junior comes up to a senior or any professional doctor, there is this factor of rude, which I think I have come across when we were in MBBS and our seniors were very rude to us. Sometimes it is just thrown off because you have a strong, you have just developed that strong mentality. But then people who have weak mentality or they take something very seriously, can this be toned down a little? That's
Like the
what my,
arrogance of the senior.
yeah. Or
Seniors are
the god
arrogant.
complex, I can say.
Yeah,
I
that's very
mean,
common. That's very common.
very
I think
common.
it's a part of life in our fraternity. I don't think so.
Mhm.
Anything needs to be toned down. Let them be arrogant. Yeah, they worked for it. And if they're arrogant with you, then I think that what happens is that don't go giving your opinion.
Hmm.
Try taking opinions more than giving opinions.
Hmm. Hmm.
You'll only come across as a pest if you go to a senior giving your opinion,
Hmm.
saying that, oh, I feel like that. Now he's got so many years of experience and I'm sure that he's got a decent IQ.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't it have crossed his mind? It could have
Hmm.
crossed his mind too.
Hmm.
But the experience is such that maybe your opinion, okay, you can always give in your inputs, but you first see where he's standing.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And if people are generally rude, find somebody who's more friendly.
Hmm.
It's not that it's the ultimate person who knows everything. I'm sure you can always find people who are not rude.
But people who are bound for working, or in a 5-year MBBS journey,
Yeah, like I think just be nice around and niceness will
just
come to
try
you.
to.
Yeah, just don't take it to your heart.
Because after Corona, there are some of my cousins have recently taken admission in MBBS,
Hmm.
and I have seen that after Corona, it has disturbed their mentality or stability already through so many factors. And I have also seen a generation where this doesn't used to matter a lot, but these generation like Gen Zs, they are getting too much affected by everything. So I just wanted to ask you that question about, you know, क्या कर सकते हैं to tone down. And lastly, I think I would love you to give some guidance to MBBS students and PG aspirants.
So from the first, like the Gen Z. So the problem is that I'll go by the quote. I won't explain the quote too much. That bad times create strong men create good times, good times create weak men create bad times create strong men.
Amazing. So true.
So
So
yeah.
true. Wow.
And as far as the NEET aspirants is concerned, like I don't know what to say to. I wouldn't want to address that because and God bless them. Yeah, God bless them. You know,
Please don't get panic, guys. But he means it in a good way, that do your preparations and all, but get guidance. If you want to follow and get guidance with him, we'll link up his handle. If
you can
he's,
call me His Highness.
yeah, his idea is that. But please don't bother him too much. He also has a lot of busy schedule. But jitna bhi he will get free time, I think.
Oh, I have a private profile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So we'll link up the public profile where
I don't
people.
have any public profile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only
So
have a
where
private
can
profile.
people reach you if they want to ask something or anything?
They can DM me if they wish to, but I'm
Cool.
not very sure how frequently I'd be able to reply.
Yeah.
If they're absolutely interested in working with me, or
Hmm.
in getting to know anything,
Hmm.
then they can contact me on my handle and they can come see me with an
Yeah, we'll
appointment.
link up that.
Yeah, if they want to come see me, they can come
Cool.
see me. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for having me over.
I mean, this has been a very lovely podcast. It has gone way better than what I thought. So, thank you so much for
You're
taking
most
out
welcome.
your valuable time for us and giving our listeners so many perspective about so many things. I mean, they would love it, I guess.
I hope
So,
so.
thank you so
Thank you
much
so
once
much.
again.
Yeah.
So, कैसा लगा आपको ये आज का पॉडकास्ट? थोड़ी कंट्रोवर्शियल बातें, थोड़ी लाइफस्टाइल पे बातें, बहुत सारी अनकवरिंग चीज़ें। लेकिन जैसे मैं एक फेलो डॉक्टर से मिलती हूँ और हमारी कम्युनिटी के बारे में हम जब कॉन्वर्सेशन करते हैं, एक बहुत इनसाइट एक एज़ अ डॉक्टर भी ह्यूमन्स होते हैं, वो भी उनका भी क्या माइंडसेट रहा होगा और कोई भी डॉक्टर एक हीलिंग पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचते रहते हैं। उन्होंने अपनी पूरी ज़िंदगी लगाई होती है पढ़ाई करने में और बहुत अपनी ज़िंदगी का अहम टाइम दिया होता है लोगों को सर्व करने के लिए। मैं बस इतना कहना चाहती हूँ कि कोई भी डॉक्टर के पास आप जा रहे हो, कोई भी डॉक्टर से आप मिल रहे हो, तो एक ओपन माइंड रखिएगा ज़रूर कि शायद वो भी कुछ गो थ्रू कर रहे होंगे या वो भी कुछ सह रहे होंगे अपने लाइफ में। भले ही वो एक स्थान पर आप रखना चाहते हो उन्हें, बट एट द एंड हम सब ह्यूमंस हैं। हम सब एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग डिज़र्व करते हैं और सारे डॉक्टर्स के पॉडकास्ट आप देख पाओगे इस चैनल पर। आई होप आप एज़ डॉक्टर्स की लाइफ भी समझ सको और आपके जो भी क्वेश्चंस हैं आप उनके आंसर्स जान पाओ। आपको कोई भी अगर ऐसी टॉपिक्स जानने हैं फ्रॉम द डॉक्टर्स और कोई भी स्पेशलिस्ट और कोई भी ऐसे स्पेशलिस्ट चाहिए शो पर, आप कमेंट्स में हमें बताइए, हम उन्हें लेकर आएँगे। और ऐसे कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं आपको पर्सनली तो प्लीज़ कमेंट्स के थ्रू बताइए ताकि हम उन्हें पूछें और इंटरेस्टिंग बना सकें और पॉडकास्ट को। आई होप कि ये वार्म एंड फज़ी एंड रियली डिफरेंट पॉडकास्ट आपको पसंद आया हो और देखते रहिए, अलग-अलग पॉडकास्ट आते रहेंगे हमारे चैनल पे। सब्सक्राइब, लाइक एंड शेयर एंड बहुत सारा प्यार आप लोगों को और ऐसे ही देखते रहिए और ब्लेस करते रहिए हमें। चलो नेक्स्ट पॉडकास्ट पे मिलते हैं। बाय बाय।